I've noticed that a common denominator of unhappiness is often in our inability to let go of control. I was thinking about this in many contexts. One in particular that sparked it was doing favors for people. Doing favors for people doesn't mean that you have some sort of power over them. And I was thinking about just how much of our generosity is motivated by power. When we fail to receive the level of gratitude that we think we deserve, is a part of us upset because we feel we don't have the control that we anticipated. When people are nice to us and we're skeptical of them, is it because we anticipate that they want some control over us? There are other factors involved in unhappiness, of course. I'm just presenting one today, and that is control. More specifically, letting go of control. So many problems in our lives are connected to control. In fact, OCD has been called a disorder of control. OCD has been called many things. It's also been called a perfectionist disorder. And Johns Hopkins thinks there's a genetic link, or at least they did at one time, a genetic link between OCD, ADD, and dyslexia. Some people think those three things are just manifestations of the same condition, but I digress. Just as there are many barriers to happiness, there are many barriers to letting go of control. Barrier number one, and the most obvious, would be discomfort. But I was thinking, what makes letting go of control uncomfortable? And I was reminded of the very, very old saying. I'm not sure anyone knows who said it first, but the very old understanding that pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. Life happens. Just tag along for the ride. Anticipating our reaction to this inevitable discomfort is the focus of what we'll discuss now. We're going to feel things. What mindset will we have when we feel them? That's the issue. Again, life happens. Just tag along for the ride. Prioritize responsibilities if you can, as best you can. Priorities like keeping your family safe, having enough money, spending time with loved ones. Those three things are examples of priorities. Fretting about trivial things like what your partner is or isn't doing is not your responsibility. Let go of it. Having the perfect Saturday off work, not a priority. And not possible, I should add. So let go of it. Manipulating other people's opinion of you, not a priority or a responsibility. Let go of it. Just let go. This is a perishable skill, and a skill that is easily forgotten to practice. So maybe set some reminders for yourself. Set an alarm on your phone to go off 3 times a day with the title, Let Go. So you look at your phone goes off, you look at it, and it says, let go. On most smartphones, you can title alarms. Or you can make a bracelet. Like I've made so many bracelets with little reminders on them. You can do that on Amazon for maybe $12 or something. Funny enough, without looking for it, I came across this cup. Unfortunately, it isn't a good cup for me, finding a suitable coffee cup is something of an art. It's got to be the right size and shape. And this one just doesn't cut the mustard. But I think you get the idea of our talk today. Then there are those pesky neuropathways again. And so mastering something comes with mental barriers, and those barriers that the discomfort we feel in our brains can often go away with time as we enforce new neuropathways. Neuropathways have been described as like skiing downhill or sledding downhill. The pathways are sort of like the trails that are left behind the sled or the skis. And so the first time you go down on fresh snow, you're met with some resistance, and then the next time after, you're going down on the packed snow, and so there's less resistance and you slide more easily. And then the third time more so, and you get the idea. So one way to enforce this, as I understand, don't roll your eyes as I'm tempted to, but meditation may be a good practice for that, for enforcing some of those neuropathways associated with just letting go of control. The reason why some people say meditation is good, I don't meditate. I did meditate every day for 1 year, which was my goal. And after achieving that goal, I just completely stopped. But I do have a morning routine where I sit down and I read something, the same thing to myself. It's just basically good advice that I wrote down for myself. But so a benefit to doing this could be that it changes our mindset, that it's not what we want to do. We want to be in a hurry, we want to rush and do something else. And so it sort of gives us mastery over our desires, rather than being slaves to our desires and just at the whim of whatever is the path of least resistance. So it's just putting yourself outside of your comfort zone for a moment every day. So that's a way to practice discomfort and make not being in control comfortable, because that's ultimately the goal, is being as comfortable as possible with not controlling things. Now, of course, some people will find contradictions in some of the things that I'm saying and say, well, there are some times where you do need control. And now, that's a different definition of control. In fact, another word might be mastery in some context. I won't address everyone's objections to what I'm saying because it would just take too much time. But keep in mind that we all realize that life is about balance, and don't take anything I'm saying to one extreme in one context. The right thing is right in some contexts at one time and then not for another. And we all know life is about balance, so don't take something to an extreme and say it's completely wrong. A little bit of something can be right at one time.